Namaste Krishna Rao garu, welcome to IYR Talks. Earlier we made an episode on the TTD. Immediately after Shamal Rao garu assumed charge as executive officer, and you wished him all the best because he told he is a very sincere officer trying to get the results whatever the CM wanted. And we also seen him in action, like going and visiting the queue lines and going and checking about the food items served in the Vengamamba Annaprasada center, and also about the cleanliness. And then he went and seen the shopping and how the cleanliness generally is there in the uphills Tirumala. And now of course he is in an agenda of going and checking on the utilization of Srivani trust funds, how they have been spent and how it has been utilized and all that. And so many things he is doing. One simple question I just want, it might be of little help to him and all that, because I know you did lot of drastic changes while you were the executive officer of Tirumal Tirupati Devasthanam. Trying to bring tremendous change and trying to eliminate corruption by modifying certain sevas and all that. Introduce 300 rupees ticket for devotees and many other things. And some you were successful and some you could not implement. And the one credit that you should go to you is that Nadni Rajanam. Say 6 o'clock, we all used to enjoy the traditional, South Indian, Indian art forms, whether it is dance, music, or Harikatha, or even I think from Malaysia also you got a dance troupe to and Ramayana epic and all that. So it's a very good festivity for us those days. And but still, a major achievement is that I think you relentlessly fought is that Ananta Swarnavayam Tinkle, and trying to protect the real relics on the temple walls. I think that's a very good thing. Otherwise, where it would have been if that project has been implemented, nobody knows. Still, there are certain things which you try to do. I know about queue line theory and all that, but there is an unfinished agenda in your mind. 3 years is not sufficient for you to.
2 years. I was there only for
2 years. Okay. So, what is that unfinished agenda, and what do you think? And in the process, I just also would like you to highlight on two things, because you are really successful in trying to get the funds for this so-called Vedic support to the trusts, for health also and various other forms. That is one thing. And one thing I just want today, one really alarming thing is that when you were the chairman of Andhra Pradesh Brahmin Development Corporation, you are treated every student studying in Andhra Pradesh to get the support from the government, particularly Vedic students, whether they studied in Andhra Pradesh or outside, but if the parents have an Aadhaar card. But in YSR regimes it is totally neglected, and those people are only the people who are neglected now, not getting the Ammavadi and all that. And even yesterday also, when there is a circular that has come to see elicit the people, these people have not been taken into consideration. So I want your little reflections on your unfinished agenda on this particular thing of Vedic students and the culture, development of culture. Earlier you have discussed about the spread of through nook and corner of the Andhra Pradesh and India of how to propagate Hindu dharma and culture. So just want your reflections on this.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me for an unfinished agenda, I would say 3 which are easily could have been done. One, which is a much bigger issue, And of course, it's a pending thing, and it has been on the table for quite some time, but no EVO is, can take a call on that unless the CM himself gets involved. First, the smaller agenda, which yes, I could have, but didn't. One was I started this, but just couldn't take off, and somewhere it got lost. The idea is this classical dance and classical music, if they have to survive, they need an audience. You can't get an audience for that just like that. Unless somebody has an initiation into Carnatic music or Kuchipudi dance or something, he can't appreciate it. So that's why these classic arts may not survive in the long run unless people develop a taste for them. So keeping that in view, what I had in mind is, we have these TTD Kalyana Mandapams almost all in 30-40 places. First we thought I will start with that. In every one of them, identify locally a good instructor in Kuchipudi dance and Carnatic music, pay him or her some honorarium and make it free. So on a daily basis, out of school hours, they start teaching people, and of all ages, it's not just students, so that people will know what these classical arts are and learn how to appreciate it. Not that all of them have to become musicians to sing in a kacheri, but at least to appreciate this. Somehow that one particular project we could not really implement in it, just stayed on in the shelf. The second important thing is, in terms of the facilities for the pilgrims, what we now have is their dormitory and then rooms. Can you think of something in between? What I had in mind is something like a hotel reception area. You just construct a reception area with a number of toilets, bathrooms, changing rooms and lockers. Just leave that, no rooms. So that whoever comes can come in, check in there, put his luggage in the locker, use the facilities, change over and then go and have a darshan, come back in the evening, pick up your luggage and go back. That way you will be able to accommodate more people with less area and less concrete structures. So this one, of course, this idea came to me a little late. I did start it. I think we identified the places and things like that, but before I could give it a final shape, I was out of that place. That's the second one. Third one is, today the type of a eating facility that you have in Tirumala is something where you auction 2-3 places. Somebody takes him on lease and then runs the hotel. So you have no choice. That 1-2 places is the places where one has to go, whatever is the type of food served. Instead of that, can we ask some of these very well-known vegetarian chains, float a tender, fix the rates and allow them 4-5 chains to operate on Tirumala, like something like Daspala group, the Taj group, the Kamath group, and things like that. Then people will have a variety to go instead of getting stuck with one fellow. This, of course, came up to tender stage. That's when I left and nobody bothered about it. Because a much bigger issue which really needs to be addressed is, how do you handle surging devotees numbers on the Tirumala uphills. There is a project which is available. What that project is, per day you can give reasonably good darshan about 40,000 devotees, not more than that. So the idea is, you have a big complex downhills in Tirupati. Whoever comes will come there. In terms of seniority, 40,000 you only allow them to come up. Then even the pressure on the hill will be that much less. So only that 40 will get darshan on that day and go back next day, next party. So people who come also will have to come prepared to stay for a day or two before they have their darshan. That's a good idea. There's nothing wrong in that. But it needs a political commitment at the highest level to implement it. The EO himself may not be in a position to take a call on that. Second is, if there are people repetitively coming for a darshan, that puts a strain on the whole system. Nowadays you have the iris, the biometric and others. With that, if you can restrict the number of times in a year one can come and have darshan also, that will all be a good thing. There are some of the issues which I think needs to be addressed by whoever is the EO for a better management of the devotee system.
And about the Vedic.
Vedic thing is, point is, in Vedic, most of the students terminate their coaching at the level of where they can go and do some porohityam and do the rituals. Nobody will be interested in studying at a higher level, that Kanapati and things like that. So you have to have a system of incentivizing people to stay on and learn it. So that's one thing. Second, Vedic learning by itself will not give you bread. So unless you also have a secular education along with it, for them facing the life after the education will be difficult. That's where teaching them some maths, English or some formal education would be a good idea. I started it, I don't know whether others were continuing it, and there was also a reaction to it. The traditionalists didn't want that to be done. So that's one important thing. And of course, a lot of these Vedic institutions get some funding from there. That can be enhanced also, because funds is not a major problem for the TTD, but focus is required.
And in fact, you were also telling that much like Kanchikam Kotpitam.
Yeah, that is the Sampradaya system. They are doing an excellent work, actually.
Let's hope for the best of the things, for preserving the culture, keeping the sentiments of Hindus in Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam and bring it to its own world glory of peace and sustenance. Thank you.